mRNA vaccines were hailed as medical breakthroughs in the fight against COVID. Now, the US Department of Health and Human Services is slashing $500 million in government funding for mRNA vaccine development.
The most urgent invention in the world right now is a vaccine that prevents you from getting COVID-19. It's going to have to go to 7 billion people.
One final way that's promising is the RNA vaccine.
Messenger RNA.
Messenger RNA.
Get it done. We need it. We want it fast.
The FDA is fast-tracking a possible coronavirus vaccine.
If we had a pandemic, wink, wink, we could emergency authorize this new mRNA technology.
There was never a vaccine made with mRNA.
Messenger RNA, which we had no previous experience with. None.
The mRNA technology scares me. It's a brand new technology being used.
When people received their first COVID-19 vaccine, it was the first time their body received lipid nanoparticles.
People historically have this confidence in the concept of, oh, it's just a vaccine. Lipid nanoparticles go everywhere in the body. To the brain, to the bone marrow, to the liver, to the spleen, most importantly, to the reproductive organs.
I regret it every single day that I walked into my local pharmacy to get that shot in my arm.
It's very likely that the mRNA vaccines accelerate coronary artery disease.
Not one more shot should be delivered.
It's a tragedy that it was allowed to happen.
The mRNA vaccines, its uses are being expanded tremendously.
Huge applause to Dr. Ronald.
It's perceived that there is a gold mine, a huge amount of potential profit to be made with this new technology.
Joel Walskog had a fulfilling career as a surgeon, but he had no choice but to abandon his calling due to the severity of his health problems after an mRNA COVID vaccine.
I had a very busy practice. I specialized in joint replacement because of my extra training. It was a great practice. I saw about 6,000 patients in clinic every year, and I did about 800 to 900 surgical procedures per year. That's a very busy practice. You took people that were in a lot of pain and functionally disabled from it, and you do a joint replacement like a hip or a knee replacement, and literally 6 weeks later, their life has dramatically changed. So it was very gratifying for me too. I enjoyed getting up every day, and I always told my kids, try to find something that you love, because almost every day I was excited about going to work.
A week after his vaccination, Joel's health began to rapidly decline.
About 7 days later, I remember waking up from bed and telling my wife that my feet were numb. So maybe 1 week later, after my numbness started, I remember I was at work and I was sitting in a clinic room talking to a patient, and I tried to stand up, and literally my legs wouldn't go. There was just no reaction. My legs wouldn't help me stand. So I remember using my hands to push my body up. And as soon as I tried to stand, I fell, and just my legs gave out. And really, it was at that time when I knew that there was something more serious or more ominous going on. Very quickly, I got diagnosed with a condition called transverse myelitis. I realized that my condition was much more serious. And unfortunately, I've never been back to work since. couldn't work. I went through probably every phase of grief. I certainly was in denial. I had a long period of being very angry. Unfortunately, my leg weakness, my leg numbness, my loss of stamina, my balance problems have never improved. I have about 2 to 4 hours on my legs a day, so I can get around most days okay for 2 to 4 hours. But after that, my legs are pretty much done for the day, and I spend a lot of time on my recliner in our family room where I can read and do things like that. Sometimes I get neuropathic or kind of bad pain flares. Sometimes the flares are so bad pain-wise or weakness-wise that I have to go on steroids, and the steroids usually can get me out of a flare. Also, since my injury, it's interesting that my blood pressure has been elevated, my heart rate's been elevated ever since my injury. Just about 2 or 3 months ago, I started passing out. So sometimes I could tell where I was getting a little dizzy, but about 2 months ago, I was sitting at our kitchen table, and my kids just said I started kind of speaking gibberish, then kind of keeled over and fell on the floor.
In the race to end a global pandemic, a novel genetic vaccine technology was fast-tracked under the banner of Operation Warp Speed, and billions of doses were administered worldwide. Now, the former director of the CDC and an advisor to Operation Warp Speed has raised concerns about what he sees as potential shortcomings of mRNA vaccines.
The mRNA vaccine, where I use this vaccine, helped develop it. I don't use it anymore in my patients.
Redfield believes that while mRNA vaccines helped reduce severe illness, he no longer recommends the technology due to potential risks with spike protein production.
I turn your body into a factory, but I have no controls over that factory. Right. I mean, you can make a lot, you can make a little, and you can make it for a week, you can make it for 6 months. I don't think it's unreasonable to go re-examine the safety of what we know about these vaccines.
Regulators and the WHO state that COVID vaccines have saved millions of lives with minimal safety concerns.
This vaccine, the mRNA vaccines, probably saved about 3 million lives.
I think that was the greatest scientific or medical achievement in my lifetime.
At the same time, it's widely acknowledged that protection wanes.
The current vaccines are not infection blocking. When new variants come up, you lose protection, and they have very short duration. Every one of those things is fixable.
While the majority of the scientific community considers the COVID vaccines safe, thousands of doctors and scientists are calling for a halt to mRNA vaccines. For years, a growing number of prominent experts have been investigating what they believe could be serious potential harms linked to these vaccines.
So I'll see the next slide before I come back. Is the solution to get through the truth out to the public around these major issues?
And again, we've got good quality observational data showing increase in heart attacks and cardiac arrest in people aged between 16 and 40, so younger people, which was associated with the vaccine and not with COVID. That's from Israel.
Having some of the brightest minds from around the world come together.
Get injured and then you sue your...
This is a group of highly competent professionals that are seeking to obtain answers.
Huge applause to Dr. Robert Malone.
Robert Malone, one of the inventors of mRNA technology, voices his concerns about the safety of mRNA vaccines.
The evidence about the adverse events from the vaccines is unequivocal. It is absolutely overwhelming. These adverse events clearly include myocarditis and a number of other things, including in particular clotting disorders. But we're just still learning about many of the long-term adverse events.
Robert Malone's website lists nearly 800 papers on mRNA vaccine side effects.
Robert Malone is a brilliant man. He was a brilliant researcher. He could reasonably have won the Nobel Prize. Really, it was that good. The stuff that he did was that much of a breakthrough.
At that time, I had a series of discoveries that led to 9 issued patents, which are the foundation technology for mRNA vaccines as well as DNA vaccination. No fences, no barn. This old barn that's falling down was here, but it was...
Before the pandemic, Robert Malone was highly regarded in the academic world and enjoyed a fulfilling life at his homestead with his wife, Jill.
We don't sell our mature mares. They're kind of our family. And this one right here, that's his great-grandmother. She scored very high on inspection.
This is a technology that may have held promise at some point in time if the problems could have been solved. It may have been destroyed, its positive potential, by this crazy rush to deploy it globally before it was ready.
When Malone raised questions about the safety of COVID vaccines, his life was forever changed, and his concerns were categorically dismissed.
These are highly credentialed people who are suffering from some kind of deep misunderstanding or delusion.
Those are the people I worry about because they're credentialed.
We now have a modern studio and a 4-camera system.
Now, Robert is on a mission, conducting countless interviews and giving lectures to educate the public about the potential dangers of COVID vaccines and the rapid deployment of new mRNA products.
There are over 200 different clinical trials currently planned for mRNA-based technology, and over 40 trials are currently enrolling.
Could mRNA technology potentially be introduced into the food supply through the vaccination of dairy cattle?
The administration of these types of technologies in humans has demonstrated that they can be shed in breast milk in humans. And so it's likely that they could be shed in milk from dairy cattle.